Right, okay, I am back from UKGE 2026. Let's just get into it. We've got a lot to cover. Just shy of 88,000 people attended over the 3 days, with 51,000 of those being unique ticket holders, and that first figure of 88,000 is up on the 72,000 from 2025. So UKGE continues to grow bigger and bigger, and once again, it really felt like it. Now, after last year, where I spent much of it wandering around like Vincent Vega, I can finally say that I am a true convert to the new layout. It is now spread across 5 halls, and one of them, they only used half the space, so it has room in which to expand if they so wanted. This new layout has more space, it is way less crowded and easier to get around, and I spent most of Friday, the first day, exploring the halls. The app, the UKGE app, has an excellent feature, a map feature that allows you to kind of pick the stalls you want to see and almost plot your course through the event, and that is fantastic. But I, like a lot of other people, could not get any service in the halls and it wouldn't load. So I kind of did it the old-fashioned way, and I went up and down every aisle of every hall systematically until I had covered the whole thing and seen everyone that I wanted to see. And it took me nearly 5 hours, and yes, I could have used the printed map they were handing out. I know this, but it was kind of nice to kind of go up and down and make sure I had taken absolutely everything in. The vibe was actually really great out on the floor, despite the heat. There was a kind of a heat wave leading up to UKGE this year, and whilst it sort of dissipated, it was still pretty hot. But running into so many lovely folk from the TTRPG space was so nice. I saw lots of friends and people that I've played with online but have not met in person, and that was just lovely, even though it was all far too brief. Now, I didn't get a single photo of any of these meetings, but they definitely happened, honestly. I did get to wrangle the Bad Spot rep company in front of this lake for a family portrait, so that was something. Just look at us. Look how happy we are. Free, finally, from the lands remaining. It was also great to see so many designers and publishers at their stands, and this year I think was the first year that I really had a chance to talk to people and thank them for their work and just kind of fangirl over them and buy their stuff. Getting to meet people and tell them how much you enjoy what they do is just nice, isn't it? Everyone wins in that situation, and we don't get to do it often enough. It was really heartening to see individual traders taking a stand against the use of Gen AI. I touched on this last year, and unlike some other big conventions who do value and celebrate the astonishing creativity in the space, UKGE seem totally disinterested in taking any kind of position on it, leaving it instead to vendors to make their feelings known. I was told that over the weekend, a lot of vendors were having to fend off polite inquiries about whether or not their work used AI, which must have been exhausting to do repeatedly for 3 whole days. And I saw a lot of these types of things, these signs making people's stance on AI very clear. And from the people I spoke to, the punters really seemed to appreciate the transparency. I want to give a huge shout out to Steph from Fistful of Crits, who made these signs and got them distributed across the con floor. I saw them pretty much everywhere. And I just want to say fair play to any vendor who put up something like this to mark themselves as separate from the creatively bankrupt fucks and the wretched slop they're spewing forth. It shouldn't be on the vendors to do this, but here we are. This was a near total bust. I got to see Off With Your Head again, which was really fun, but all the other seminars that I wanted to see clashed with other things that I had booked. I do love UKGE. It's a massive highlight in my calendar and I look forward to it every single year, but fuck me running. They do not help themselves sometimes. I believe they announced the seminar thread, which is where you will find the panels and the live podcasts and the live actual plays, just 3 or 4 weeks before Expo actually began, by which point a lot of people had already booked onto other things, because events, especially ticketed events, sell out really quickly. When I used to do the live show, it was in the seminar thread, and I have just seen it given less and less thought and watched it slowly wither and die over the past couple of years. This year I heard of at least 2 high-profile panels that were teased by guests and then never got announced and didn't happen. Shut Up and Sit Down had a free show on the Saturday morning that wasn't put live on the website until that day. They had to rely on telling people who came to their stand when the show actually was, and when the show did happen, it was less than half full, because of course it was. And it was Shut Up and Sit Down, who I believe are quite popular, and they were doing a show that cost nothing, and it played to a mostly empty room, much to their annoyance, according to the audience who were there. And that's like bananas that UKGE would drop the ball like that. Like, by contrast, the last time I did my live show in 2024, it was agreed and confirmed before Christmas and then announced and on the website shortly after. People had several months with the program to see what they wanted to add to their schedules, and obviously stuff got added nearer the time, of course it did, but the bulk of it was up a long time before the convention started. And what happened to Shut Up and Sit Down is not the first time either. I will never forget the panel from a few years ago that included a bunch of Warhammer 40k YouTubers with like 500,000 subscribers between them, that wasn't announced until the day that it happened, and it famously got an audience of 10 people in a room booked for 400. Honestly, like, I know that UKGE is staffed by real people who are all human and fallible, and I know that event management is hard, especially at this scale. Organizing 50,000 people is like organizing the entire population of Yeovil. But come on, UKGE is the 3rd biggest convention in the world, and they have been doing this for 20 years, and this is embarrassing. Okay, I played a lot of stuff this year. Board games, I played a whole bunch, and I won't go through them one by one because this isn't a board game channel. So here they are in a list. Some were new to me, some I had played before, some were old favourites, but I want to give a particular shout out to the frankly deranged game of Wilmot's Warehouse that we played, that we so nearly aced, only to fall at the last hurdle because of a technicality about the inside of a passion fruit, but you can't win them all, I guess. RPG wise, I played a few games, including Mothership, which I don't want to talk about here because I had a terrible time. But the one bright spot of that experience was finding myself sat next to 2 people who I actually played Daggerheart with last year, which felt like a bit of a weird coincidence in a very busy convention with lots of RPG tables. So a big bad spot hello to Lucy and James. Do let me know if you see this in the comments, and we will go out of our way to arrange a game next year. And yeah, why not? Let's make an annual tradition of it. I also played Never Stop Blowing Up in the Indie Games on Demand thread, which honestly, not my kind of game, not my kind of play style, but it cost £3.50 and it only took 2 hours, and it was fun. I played with a bunch of strangers and Robin from Cozy RPG Reviews, and yeah, there are much worse ways to spend a couple of hours, although I will personally never think about that game ever again, and honestly I have forgotten most of it, and it only happened 4 days ago. Then on the last day I played Doomsong, and guys, I need to talk about Doomsong. The Doomsong stand was the best at the con by far. The vendors were all dressed as priests with cassocks and the lot, and they also had a fucking coffin on their stand. I've heard great things about Doomsong, and I couldn't wait to try it when I saw it listed in the events. And a big shout out to our GM Adam, who ran a great game, and to the rest of the table, including a whole bunch of Irish lads in rugby shirts who were chugging cans of Monster. And I was like, are these guys on a stag do? Are they lost? But then they turned out to be like the absolute sweetest boys, and I had so much fun playing with all of them for 3 of the 4 hours. For in those 3 hours, those 3 magical hours, I was smitten. Doomsong had dug out my shriveled little heart with a shovel and buried it in consecrated ground. I have never fallen so hard for a game so quickly. Its mechanics were great, its artwork was amazing, its vibe immaculate. It was perfect. And I was ready to run to the stand immediately afterwards and give them all the money for whatever stock they had left and make the game my entire personality. But then a combat happened. A map came out. There were minis. There were turns. There were ranges. And there were hit points. And compared to the rest of the game that flowed so beautifully, that was so rich and interesting and weird and dark, the combat just ground everything to a shuddering halt, and it sucked so hard. It was crushing. Like, in the first round, my character did some very exciting, very cinematic things, such as standing up and drawing a weapon, and that was it. Haven't we moved past the need for structured combat with different rules? I just find it so depressing. My heart was absolutely broken by this. But I guess I saved some money on buying books, so score. Right, strap in. Total cowardice in the face of community objection to generative AI, the complete mishandling of the seminars. I've talked about those already. But I also want to talk about something hugely dispiriting, which was the flagrant disregard for player safety at the RPG tables. Now, for those who don't know, UKGE found themselves in the news in 2019, and after that incident had a rethink of their player safety policy. I have been told by several sources that GMs who run games at UKGE have to go through training every 2 years, and they receive briefings in the forms of video training and Zoom calls with the organisers. There is also, I am told, a safety tools policy in place where GMs running a game have to list the specific tools they will be using alongside content warnings for the games themselves. Now, this all sounds very reasonable and very good. But it's also very surprising because I have been playing games at UKGE for 3 years and I haven't seen a single use of safety tools at any table. In the last few days, I've spoken to dozens of people who took part in games as part of the RPG thread, both players and GMs, and I learned this policy is absolutely not being enforced. And I also know of at least one serious complaint made to UKGE this year as a direct result of their failure to enforce their own rules. Having a policy but not enforcing it means it doesn't exist. This lackadaisical attitude to protecting players at the table is incredibly disappointing. A sign outside the room that says, "If you have a problem, email us," is not a safety tool. Do better. It isn't hard. Moving on, the Lucky Dip Press Pass accreditation debacle from last year, which I won't go over again, repeated itself once more, so that's fun. But not to me, which is, score. Unlike in 2025, I got press accreditation right away, but I know creators with much bigger audiences than me who got a flat no, only to have that overturned when they queried it, which is exactly what happened to me last year. And I also know creators who got rejected, and when they got in touch to query it, they were still told no. But when they asked why, they were told that there was no cap on passes that they had exceeded, there was no deadline that they'd missed, and no follower or subscriber count that they'd fallen short of. They were just told no, and no just because, which is a baffling thing for UKGE to just straight up admit. And then a few weeks before the con started, the press list that's given to exhibitors leaked and very quickly got passed around us. And I can tell you there really is absolutely no rhyme or reason to who does or does not get a press pass. It's just sort of potluck, I guess. And in another life, I used to write and podcast about films. And as part of that, I would go to film festivals and go through the accreditation process and deal with press desks. And it is honestly like night and day, the difference in professionalism on show, which again, like UKGE is the third biggest convention in the world. It should not be like this. And like that might feel like a bit of an unfair comparison, because there is a great deal more professional press coverage of film than there is of tabletop gaming. Most of us are what is known as the enthusiast press. Like, this isn't our job. We do this because we love it. But I would still get accredited to international film festivals on the strength of a WordPress blog with barely triple-figure viewership. Like, I was granted a press pass because I applied and I attended. I did not take the piss, and I turned in some really good coverage that I was really proud of. And even though the audience for it was small, they saw that I'd put in the work, and it was then no issue getting into other film festivals off the back of it. And I don't know if this attitude will change like next year, but maybe it might, because like very late in the process, a third party came in to handle the press side of things this year at UKGE, and anyone who had been granted a press pass already was sort of kind of asked to repeat their applications so it could be tracked or something. It was, I don't know, it was kind of quite confusing. But other than that, there didn't seem to be any other additional support for press creators like who were attending UKGE. Although there kind of was, because there was like a creator Discord, right, which you were asked to optionally join. I didn't. But if you did join it, then you were sent the UKGE content slide deck. And I just find that a wild name for something, like the content creation slide deck. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, like obviously I didn't get it because I didn't go to the Discord. But as soon as some people started being sent it, they started sharing it around because it's really fucking funny. This slide deck is basically just a document going through the various types of content you could make whilst at UKGE, and it is the most insipid, patronizing, obviously ChatGPT generated guide to churning out the most bland SEO optimized algorithm glazing content imaginable. This whole thing is so vapid. Honestly, it reads like the script of a multi-level marketing scam. And I have to show you, so let's take a look. There's a lot of great advice here. One is start with a strong hook, and then it gives some examples of good hooks. And the first one is, I'm going to UK Game Expo 2026. I can't deny that is very powerful as far as a hook goes. The next bit of advice it gives is to make it personal. Creators should not sound like a press release. They should explain why they are personally excited. And here are some examples. I'm looking forward to discovering new games. I can't wait to meet people from the community. I always come away from UKGE with something unexpected. This is one of those events where the hobby feels massive. Like, what does that mean? And some of it has been presented in like this kind of Mad Lib fill in the blank style, and it's unintentionally incredibly funny. Examples include, I wasn't going to film game, but then I saw unexpected thing. If your friend group is type, you need this game. The most underrated genre of the year is sitting on a sized stand in Hall X. There's also like this great bit where they run through some ideas to do leading up to the event, and there's just these boring ideas that like are just nothing. And then there's this bit where it says, see more examples below, and then it's just blank. It's just blank, it's perfect, it's no notes. Like, what what is this? Like, there is so much empty marketing speak about building trust and being an analyst, not just a reviewer, and establishing yourself as a connector. And like, what does any of that even mean? It's just so devoid of life or feeling or meaning. Like, this document, like nowhere in this document does it make any mention of like bringing your passion or your enthusiasm or your excitement through in your work. It doesn't say about having fun or being joyful or like, you know, displaying your personality. And I actually wouldn't be averse to a creator guide if it contained practical, useful things like, I don't know, a link to an asset bank where you can get correct logos or facts and figures about previous expos, you know, useful things. And like, I just want to say, before people call me unprofessional for sharing what was clearly not meant to be for public consumption, I just want to say, in the content creation slide deck, one of the ideas for great content is behind the pass. Lift the curtain on what a creator pass actually gets you. Audiences love this, and it is underdone. Look, audiences love this. You love this. This is your fault. If you want to know what a creator pass gets you, it's a free ticket and ideas like this. You also get your email address shared to a press list, which is kind of standard for these things. But 90% of the people who contact you are people who have just contacted everyone on the list. So it's completely irrelevant most of the time. Yes, there is a preview event on the Thursday that press gets access to. But fun fact, everyone, anyone can go to that. You just need to email UKGE and ask. I'm pretty sure that UKGE don't watch any of this stuff, but if they do, Jesus fucking Christ, guys, like, what are we even doing here? I'm not getting invited back, am I? Right, okay, time for my haul. What did I buy at UKGE 2026? Now, I showed very little restraint in the first few hours of wandering the halls. And then it sort of like dawned on me that perhaps I shouldn't go too hard. And then I got paid for a job that I was doing halfway through. And I was like, fuck it, let's just keep going. So yeah, let's have a look at what I got. I'll start with the non-RPG stuff first. So I got some cards for Earthborn Rangers, a new card game that I'm kind of wholly smitten with and completely taken by. I also bought some very expensive tokens to play with it, and like tokens that already come in the box, but they just made a cardboard. Who can play with cardboard? These tokens that I bought were like hand carved from mahogany, and they may have cost like twice what the game costs, but like I feel like that's an irrelevant point. I don't have a problem, it's fine. I bought another video for Final Girl. If you don't know what Final Girl is, it's a really amazing solo board game where you basically play the final girl in a horror movie, and each adventure or module, as they're known, like are tapes, essentially VHS tapes, and each one is based on a different film. And this one is based on Scream, but it's set at a convention, appropriately enough. And I can't wait to play that. Every game of Final Girl I've ever played has been fantastic, so I can't wait to actually get some more, because I don't actually own that much of it, but whenever I've played it, I've had a great time. Okay, I bought Caught in the Rain, this is called. I bought this mainly because the publisher, who was I think Ravens Ridge Games, I think they're called. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. I was talking to them about the games. The artwork caught my eye, and they said to me, are you familiar with solo games? And I was like, yeah, kinda. And then they were like, have you ever heard of Brindlewood Bay? And I was like, yeah, kinda. And then I just sort of bought it because I thought this interaction is going to be awkward otherwise. So yeah, I don't know if it's any good. I guess we'll find out. I bought Against Time and Death. This has been on my list for a while. Nick Bate, who wrote this game, he was tabling with the lovely folks at Black Armada Games, and I went to see them and picked this up immediately. It was like one of the first things I bought on the first day. Can't wait to play it. Don't know a huge amount about it, but yeah, super into it. I think me and Steve are going to play this on the channel. It's one we've had on our list for a while, so yeah, great stuff. I bought Calpini. I don't know how you say that, but like it's by Steph from Fistful of Crits, and I just love Steph, and I thought I just want to support her and buy one of her games. I don't own any of the games you need to play it with, but that's not an insurmountable obstacle. It's exciting, it looks beautiful, well into it. I got this Dread Knight, a zine with beautiful artwork by Odd Artworks. I'm doing a terrible job of showing you that. Odd Artworks is a YouTube channel that I absolutely love. Like, it's so hypnotic to watch this guy just like sketching in real time and inking in these just amazing sprawling environments. And I got talking to him, and it was really nice. He was a really nice guy. And when I told him which of his artworks I'd seen in a video of his, he like went to the back and like came and showed me the original, and I got to hold it, and I was like, man, this is my fucking Mona Lisa, Jesus Christ. It was really nice guy. Next to his stall though were the Quintessence guys. Now they made me play I played a little mini game with them. They wanted to do like some market research for like doing a monthly solo zine like subscription thing. It was really interesting. And I got to talk about games I liked, and then I got to roll some dice and win a little prize. I got a little zine called Gobtober. It's just full of like really cool art of like goblins and stuff, which, you know, you can never have too much of. I bought Play Unsafe, which to the uninitiated might seem like a neckbeard's wet dream about how safety tools are bullshit, but actually no, it's a great book by Graham Walmsley, who wrote Cthulhu Dark and Cosmic Dark, a bunch of other things, and it's just been reprinted for its 20th anniversary. It's just a really good book about GMing better and improvising better, and I've read excerpts from it, but like never actually read the whole thing, so I picked this up. I've got The Final Days of Maccabee Hayes, a zine by Finley Ginley, who I got to speak to. Very, very nice. They said to me when I arrived at their stand, holy shit, you're Matt Risby. And I had to resist the temptation to do the funniest thing ever and just pretend to not know what they were talking about. But it's just, it was just too wholesome an interaction to bring deceit into proceedings. So, can't wait to have a go on that one. Then I got Desperation, box game, Jason Morningstar. You know the drill. Like, everyone was after Tackle Box at this convention, and it sold out very quickly. I managed to get like one of 3 copies left on the Sunday at Leisure Games. Not 100% sure how it works. I got the print and play edition ages ago, and when I own a print and play, it means it's not getting printed or played. So when I saw it in the flesh, I was like, yeah, gotta pick that up. This will be nothing on camera, but I bought a little mini from, who are they now? Warp Miniatures. I was doing a bit of a tour around the hall with Michelle from The Bad Spot and from Euphoria, and Cash, who I've played with on another channel, he'll be on my channel very soon. And they got talking to like a miniatures designer, and she was like so enthusiastic about the game and the miniatures, and I was like, I'm kind of stuck in a rut with like miniatures. I haven't painted one for ages, and I bought this kind of weird mermaid one, and I'm just gonna like, you know, base that up and paint it up as like a little palette cleanser. I can't play a game with it, but like, you know, it's a beautiful miniature, and it's lead as well. I haven't painted a lead miniature in about 30 years, so that should be good. Finally, I didn't count this as a purchase because I backed it on Kickstarter and I was just collecting it. Asher's Ridge by Rory Montford. Fans of this channel will know that it's on my list of games to play this year. I'm super excited for it. I love Rory's games. I'm playing in a game of Dead Let Society at the moment. I got the map with it, which is really cool, and I got the deck of cards. And then perhaps most excitingly of all the things I got at UKGE, I also got this from the Montford Tales stand, is Minecraft Builds Books, which is a little zine made by Rory's son, who I think is like 6. And you know, this was strictly limited edition, con exclusive. And I don't know, guys, it might be something. There's a little maze on the back to do, and a bunch of things you can build in Minecraft by the looks of things. And yeah, we could be seeing the actual play premiere of this very soon on a channel near you. I've just spent the past however long giving UKGE a lot of shit, and I believe that a lot of that is warranted. But here is the thing, like, I want UKGE to be amazing. I am still hyped every year in the months, weeks, and days leading up to it. I want exhibitors to know that this is their show and for them to feel supported and valued. I want UKGE to be the place where you can go to watch the most interesting folk in the industry talk about what they do on well-curated, well-promoted panels. I want to see live actual plays and podcast recordings with people playing weird little games and exploring their creativity in the one place they know there is definitely an audience for it, and I want that audience to be able to find it. I want a diverse range of GMs running a diverse range of RPGs for a diverse audience of players who know that UKGE values their safety and don't feel scared or intimidated to join a game. I want anyone who considers themselves press or creators in this space to come to UKGE and celebrate it. Show us the experience through their eyes. Give us a unique view on how it felt to be there, to enjoy it, to feel part of something exciting, not to work through a bullet point list of rote marketing buzzwords. UKGE should be this hobby's pinnacle, a 3-day celebration of everything this weird and wonderful industry has to offer. And it could be. If they want it, it really could be. I don't want to be here again next year tearing lumps out of the convention. I want to be counting down the days to the next one. And I think we all do. So that is it for UKGE 2026. Until next time, everyone, it is farewell and safe passage.